The stars sparkled above Zarian 5 like scattered diamonds on a velvet cloth. The planet's spaceport was alive with movement ships of every shape and size landed and took off. While aliens from countless worlds haggled, traded, and conversed in strange musical languages, humans were rare here, and one of them stood out even in the bustling crowd. Ethan Cole adjusted his leather jacket nervously as he walked along the busy corridors of the spaceport. His green eyes darted from one alien species to another, absorbing every detail. He had never seen creatures with 6 arms negotiating with a merchant, or beings whose eyes shimmered like molten gold. He was a diplomat, yes, but more importantly, he was curious. Human curiosity, he reminded himself, had gotten them far before, and it would get him far now. The mission was simple, or so it seemed: observe the alien cultures, understand their politics, and report back to the United Earth Council. But being a human on Zarian 5 was like being a fish on dry land. Every step required care, every gesture mattered. And yet, Ethan found himself walking through the crowd with a quiet confidence. Humans had a strange ability. He thought they could adapt, learn, survive even when no one expected it. His attention, however, was not on the crowd, but on one particular presence. She moved through the spaceport like a star gliding across the sky. Her skin shimmered with a soft lavender hue, and her hair flowed like liquid silver. Her eyes, deep and knowing, scanned the surroundings with intelligence and grace. This was Princess Lyra of the Zitharian Empire, the very same princess humans had only heard about in hushed tones. Her people were known for their psychic abilities, their advanced technology, and their strict court traditions. To see her here, unguarded and walking among common aliens, was almost impossible. Ethan's heart skipped a beat. He stopped behind a market stall, pretending to examine some trinkets, while sneaking glances at her. His thoughts were unguarded, a dangerous thing in a place like this. Without thinking, he whispered under his breath, "I wish I could marry her." He froze immediately. The words hung in the air, soft, almost inaudible. Surely no one could hear him. Surely, but someone did. A cool, melodic voice interrupted his thoughts, though no sound had left her lips. Ethan felt a sudden chill run down his spine. "You wish to marry me?" The voice said not aloud, but inside his mind like a gentle ripple of water. Ethan's eyes widened. He turned around, expecting a guard or a spy. There was no... Then he saw her Lyra standing a few feet away, looking at him with curiosity and amusement. You heard me?" he stammered, feeling his face burn. Lyra's lips curved into a small smile. "I heard everything," she said softly, her voice calm yet commanding. "Do not be afraid. Your thoughts? They are honest." Ethan swallowed hard. He had dealt with tough negotiators, politicians, even alien leaders with strange customs, but nothing had prepared him for this. A princess, a psychic alien princess, had just read his heart. And she didn't seem angry. Not at all. I didn't mean," he started, but she raised a hand. "I know," Lyra interrupted, tilting her head. Her eyes, large and luminous, seemed to pierce through his soul, yet instead of fear, he felt something else: curiosity, and perhaps even respect. It is rare to hear such sincerity here. Most would hide their thoughts behind words, masks, or schemes. Ethan blinked. He wasn't sure if he should run, apologize, or faint. Instead, he said the first thing that came to mind. "I'm Ethan Cole. I come in peace. I'm here to learn about your culture. And, well, I didn't expect to meet you like this." Lyra's smile widened slightly. "Ethan Cole, a human. How interesting." She stepped closer, and Ethan noticed that she moved with a grace that seemed almost effortless. "You are not like the others. You are unguarded, curious, honest." Ethan felt a strange mix of pride and embarrassment. Humans prided themselves on honesty, but he had never expected it to be noticed by an alien princess, no less. "I guess humans are good at being honest," he said, attempting a nervous laugh. "Sometimes too honest." Lyra tilted her head again, considering. Honesty is a rare skill. In many ways, It is more powerful than deception. Her eyes softened. Perhaps that is why I'm curious about you. Ethan's chest tightened. Curiosity from a princess like Lyra was not something one encountered every day. He wanted to say something clever, something impressive, but the words tangled in his throat. Instead, he nodded. I hope. I can learn enough to be worthy of your trust. Her gaze lingered on him for a moment, as if weighing his soul. Then she turned and began walking toward a small, secluded garden within the spaceport, a private area usually reserved for high-ranking dignitaries. Ethan's eyes widened. Can I follow you?" he asked cautiously. Lyra paused, looking back over her shoulder. "You may. But remember, this is no ordinary walk. The world watches even when it seems quiet. Your actions reveal more than your words ever could." Humans were often underestimated, Ethan reminded himself. That was part of their strength. "Understood," he said firmly. "I will try my best." They walked together in silence for a few minutes, passing glowing flora and crystalline fountains that hummed softly. Ethan's eyes never left Lyra. She noticed everything, the way he observed the environment, the way he adjusted to avoid startling the delicate alien flowers, even the faint scent of earth lavender he carried with him. "Why do you wish to marry me?" Lyra asked suddenly, her voice echoing in his mind again. Ethan's heart leaped. This was not a polite rhetorical question. This was real. He took a deep breath. "I don't know if it's right," he admitted. "I barely know you. But something about you, your mind, your courage, your honesty, I feel like you see the world in a way humans should aspire to. And I think humans and Zetharians could learn from each other. I wish to stand beside someone like that. Someone who inspires me to be better." Lyra paused, considering his words carefully. Few beings spoke with such sincerity, and fewer still admitted their feelings so openly. She had grown up in a court of secrets and manipulation. Humans were strange creatures, naive, fragile, yet somehow courageous in ways the galaxy had yet to understand. "You are unlike any human I have observed before," she said finally, her voice softening. "Perhaps that is why I'm intrigued. Most seek alliances, power, or gain. You speak with your heart." Ethan's chest swelled with cautious hope. "Then you are not angry?" he asked. "Anger is not required," Lyra replied. "Curiosity is, and perhaps caution." She paused, then looked around, ensuring no one was watching. "This meeting must remain discreet. The court is not ready to see humans walk freely beside Zetharian royalty, but I will allow it for now. Perhaps there is something to learn from you, Ethan Cole." Humans had a saying, "Fortune favors the bold." Ethan had never felt its truth so keenly. "Thank you," he said sincerely. "I won't disappoint you." Lyra's smile was faint but genuine. "We shall see," she said. "For now, walk with me. Observe, listen, and perhaps share your thoughts when it is safe." As they continued through the quiet garden, Ethan felt a surge of excitement. The universe was vast, full of wonders he had never imagined. And here he was, walking beside a princess who could hear his thoughts. In a world where humans were considered fragile and insignificant, yet, in that moment, he realized something. Perhaps humans were not as powerless as the galaxy thought. Perhaps, through honesty, courage, and heart, they could stand beside any being, even a psychic, alien princess, and make a difference. The garden on Zarian 5 was unlike anything Ethan had ever seen. Crystalline flowers glowed softly under the alien sun, and water flowed in gentle streams that reflected colors he couldn't name. The air was warm, sweet with unknown fragrances, and completely stilled it somehow. He felt the presence of unseen eyes. Princess Lyra walked gracefully ahead, her steps silent on the polished stone paths. Ethan followed carefully, trying not to stumble over his own nervousness. Humans had a tendency to make mistakes when they felt out of place. He did not want to give her any reason to doubt him. "You observe everything," Lyra said, turning her head slightly. "Even small details. It is unusual for humans." Ethan blinked. I suppose it's part of being a diplomat," he replied. We watch, we listen, we try to understand. Humans have a way of noticing things others miss. It has kept us alive. Lyra's eyes shimmered like molten silver. Alive, yes, but thriving? That is more difficult. Your people are young in the galactic stage. Yet I sense potential, strength. Ethan felt a mix of pride and humility. Humans had faced countless challenges, survived on a fragile planet, and yet reached for the stars. He wanted to explain, but words seemed too small for the truth. We try our best, he said quietly. Lyra's expression softened. Then perhaps that is why I am curious. You are honest, yet cautious. Brave, yet aware of your limits. Few beings in the galaxy combine these qualities. He walked in silence for a few moments. Ethan's gaze wandered over the glowing flowers, the smooth stone paths, and then back to Lyra. Every step she took seemed deliberate, full of elegance and purpose. Yet she was approachable, not distant like the princesses he had read about in galactic histories. She seemed real. Ethan wanted to ask questions, but the words stuck in his throat. Humans often had a fear of saying the wrong thing, and here he was, standing beside a princess who could read his mind. One wrong thought could ruin everything. Instead, he asked carefully, "Why are you walking here, away from your guards?" Lyra's lips curved in a slight smile. "Even a princess desires freedom," she said. "The court is suffocating. Protocols, rules, endless eyes watching every move. Here, I can think without pretense. And sometimes, I can listen to others without judgment." Ethan nodded, understanding. Humans too often longed for privacy, for moments where they could simply be themselves. "I know the feeling," he said. "On Earth we have parks, forests, quiet places to think. I guess we're not so different after all." Lyra glanced at him, surprised. "Not so different. Perhaps. Yet the galaxy expects humans to be weak, naive, easily deceived." Ethan smiled. "We may not be the strongest, but we adapt. We survive. And sometimes, we surprise the galaxy." Lyra's eyes brightened. There was a spark in them, a rare warmth. Surprise. Yes, that is a human trait, is it not? You do not always follow the expected path. You create new ways to solve problems, to endure. Ethan felt his confidence grow slightly. Humans had indeed been underestimated, and that had always worked in their favor. "We try to think beyond the obvious," he said. "We rely on ingenuity, teamwork, and sometimes sheer stubbornness." Lyra laughed softly, sound like wind chimes. "Stubbornness. Humans are stubborn? I suppose it is necessary for survival. But it also makes you unpredictable." Ethan's heart beat faster. Lyra's curiosity was genuine, not just polite interest. She was seeing him as a human, not as a visitor, not as an insignificant being. And for the first time he felt equal. They reached a small pavilion at the center of the garden, a place with a low stone bench and a view of the glowing flora stretching endlessly. Lyra gestured for him to sit. "Tell me," she said, "what do humans value most? You speak with honesty, but what drives your people?" Ethan considered the question carefully. Humans valued many things: survival, knowledge, peace, love. But more than anything, they valued connection to each other, to the world, to life itself. "We value truth," he said finally, "and courage. Not just the courage to fight, but the courage to be vulnerable, to face the unknown, to stand by what is right, even when it is difficult." Lyra's eyes widened slightly, impressed. Vulnerability. Yes, that is rare. Most beings in the galaxy hide behind power or deception. Humans, you show strength in being open. Ethan nodded. "It is not always easy. Often it leads to trouble. But hiding the truth, it can be worse. We have learned that over millennia." Lyra leaned back slightly, observing him. "You speak with wisdom. Yet your people are young. Perhaps this is why I'm interested. Humans are still discovering themselves, yet you carry an honesty and courage that surprises even older species." Ethan smiled faintly. I guess. We are still learning. Every day we try to do better, to be better. And sometimes we fail spectacularly. But we get up again. That is what matters. Lyra's expression softened. To fail and rise. Yes, that is admirable. Few beings have the resilience to do so. Humans may be underestimated, but perhaps you are more than the galaxy expects. Ethan felt a thrill of pride. Humans were often dismissed as weak, unremarkable, or reckless. Yet here he was, standing beside a princess. She was seeing what humans could achieve, honestly, courageously, and without deception. He hesitated, then asked Lyra, "May I ask something personal?" She inclined her head. "You may, but choose your words carefully." "I wonder," he began, unsure if the words were wise, "what it is like to grow up knowing everyone expects you to be perfect, to never make mistakes, to live under constant scrutiny." Lyra's eyes softened, and for a moment she seemed almost human, vulnerable. "It is lonely. The court teaches control, discipline, restraint. Mistakes are dangerous. Curiosity can be punished. And yet I long to explore, to learn, to speak without fear." Ethan nodded, understanding her deeply. Humans also faced expectations, though perhaps not as extreme. "I think everyone deserves moments of freedom, to be themselves. And perhaps that is why humans endure. We cherish those moments, and we protect them." Lyra's gaze lingered on him, a faint smile forming. "You speak wisely for one so young. Perhaps there is hope, for humans and for alliances that require trust." The garden was quiet for a long moment. Ethan felt a strange peace sitting beside her. The galaxy outside might be vast and dangerous. It's full of intrigue and power struggles, but here in it felt simple, honest, real, suddenly. A subtle ripple passed through the air. Lyra's expression changed, alert, cautious. "We are not entirely alone," she said softly, her eyes scanning the garden. Ethan looked around, nervous. "Are you in danger?" "No," Lyra said, shaking her head. "But the court is never far. They watch, even when it seems quiet. Be careful, Ethan Cole. Curiosity is a strength, but exposure can be deadly." Ethan straightened. Humans had faced danger many times, but he had never felt it in a palace garden before. Yet fear did not dominate him. Instead, he felt resolve. Humans were adaptable. They could think quickly, act decisively, and survive where others faltered. "I understand," he said firmly. "I'll be cautious, and I'll do my best to prove that humans can be trusted." Lyra's gaze softened again. "That is encouraging. Humans are bold, yet careful. Perhaps this is why I sense something different in you." They spent the rest of the day walking through the garden, exchanging observations, learning from each other. Lyra showed him how to sense energy patterns in plants, while Ethan explained the human concept of art and storytelling. Every exchange revealed more about their worlds, and Ethan marveled at the similarities: curiosity, creativity, and a desire to connect. As the alien sun began to set, painting the garden in soft purple and gold, Ethan realized something profound. Humans had always been underestimated. In the eyes of the galaxy, they were fragile, inexperienced, insignificant. Yet standing beside Lyra, he felt a spark of truth. Humans were resilient, adaptable, and capable of remarkable insight. And perhaps, through honesty, courage, and curiosity, they could change perceptions not just of themselves, but of the galaxy itself. Lyra stopped and looked at him, her eyes reflecting the fading light. "Ethan Cole, humans may surprise the galaxy yet. Perhaps you will show me more than I expect." Ethan smiled, feeling a mix of excitement and responsibility. "I promise I'll try. For humans, and for you." Lyra's smile was faint, but genuine. And for the first time, Ethan felt that the impossible humans standing as equals among stars and alien royalty might not be so impossible after all. As night fell on Zarian 5, the stars twinkled above, silent witnesses to the beginnings of an extraordinary connection between a human and a princess. Between courage and curiosity, between two worlds ready to learn from each other. The next morning, the palace of the Zetharian Empire gleamed like a jewel under the twin suns. Its towers reached high into the sky, and the city below thrived with life, trade, and diplomacy. Yet inside the palace walls, tension simmered. Whispers traveled faster than the wind, and every corner seemed to hide a watcher. Ethan Cole had never felt more out of place. Clad in a human diplomatic uniform, he walked through the marble halls beside Princess Lyra, who moved with her usual grace. The court was buzzing with rumors, some admiring, some suspicious. Humans were not supposed to stand so freely in the presence of Zetharian royalty. Yet here he was. Lyra noticed his discomfort and smiled faintly. "Do not let them unsettle you," she whispered, her voice carrying only to him. "You have already proven more than they expect of a human." Ethan nodded, swallowing his nerves. "I hope I can keep proving it," he replied. Humans had faced dangers before, but navigating alien court politics was a new kind of challenge. One misstep could mean disaster. Their first stop was the council hall, where the elders of the Zetharian Empire convened. They were tall, imposing beings, each with eyes that seemed to look into one's very thoughts. The hall smelled faintly of ozone and flowers, a combination both alien and oddly comforting. "Your Highness," an elder said. As Lyra entered, "We are concerned about your guest. Humans are unpredictable. Can we trust him?" Lyra's expression remained calm. "Ethan Cole has already demonstrated honesty, courage, and ingenuity," she replied firmly. "Do not judge him before you see what he can do." The elders exchanged skeptical glances. In the Zetharian court, words carried weight, but actions mattered more. Lyra knew this, and she also knew that Ethan would need to prove himself not through combat or power, but through wisdom, problem-solving, and diplomacy. After the council meeting, Lyra led Ethan to a quiet room filled with holographic maps and alien schematics. "This is your first trial," she said. "Observe carefully and think. The court will test you through challenges of intellect and diplomacy. They want to see if a human can understand our ways and earn trust." Ethan studied the maps, noticing complex patterns of trade routes, interstellar supply chains, and energy networks. Humans had never dealt with intergalactic politics on this scale. Yet he knew one thing: logic, observation, and creativity could solve almost any problem. "This is complicated," he admitted. "But humans have solved hard problems before. We just need to find a pattern." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "Yes, humans are resourceful. I sense potential in your mind. Show the council that humans can contribute, not just observe." The first challenge came quickly. A neighboring empire had imposed unexpected trade restrictions, threatening the flow of vital energy crystals to the Zetharians. The elders demanded a solution, but most were stumped. Ancient laws and rigid procedures bound them. Ethan took a deep breath. Humans were not bound by centuries of tradition. They could think outside the box. "Perhaps," he said carefully, "we can negotiate a temporary agreement, offering them a small share of our new energy research in exchange for lifting the restrictions. It is mutually beneficial and requires no violation of law." The elders murmured among themselves. This was unorthodox. Humans were supposed to be reactive, not proactive. Yet Ethan's reasoning made sense. Lyra's expression showed pride. She had never seen the court react so quickly to an outsider's suggestion. Within hours, negotiations began, led by Ethan under Lyra's supervision. He used calm logic, empathy, clear communication to convince the alien diplomats that collaboration was more advantageous than rigidity. Slowly, resistance melted away. By evening, the energy crisis was averted. The elders looked at Ethan with a mixture of surprise and respect. One elder finally spoke. "Perhaps humans are more capable than we believed." Ethan exhaled, feeling a wave of relief. Lyra's subtle nod reassured him. Yet he knew this was only the beginning. The court would not stop testing him. They would look for weaknesses. moments where human unpredictability could fail. That night, Lyra led Ethan to the palace gardens once more. "You did well today," she said softly, "but the court's scrutiny is constant. They will try to undermine you, to see if human cunning can match Zetherian tradition." Ethan rubbed his forehead, exhausted but determined. "I don't want to fail," he admitted. "Humans are underestimated everywhere. If I fail, it could reinforce their doubts." Lyra placed a gentle hand on his arm. "You will not fail. Humans are resilient. You have honesty, courage, and ingenuity. Those are qualities that cannot be taught or replicated." Ethan smiled faintly, grateful for her encouragement. Humans often relied on each other in moments of uncertainty, and her support reminded him that even in an alien world, he was not alone. The following days brought more trials. Ethan faced challenges of strategy, diplomacy, and moral judgment. He mediated disputes among alien merchants, devised clever solutions to trade bottlenecks, and proposed plans that respected Zetherian law while benefiting multiple species. Each success drew both admiration and jealousy. Some members of the court saw him as a threat, fearing that a human might influence the princess or disrupt the balance of power. Rumors spread. Some whispered that Ethan sought to manipulate Lyra. Others suggested he had hidden motives. Lyra, however, continued to support him quietly. She observed his every move, assessing not just his intelligence, but his integrity and character. Humans could surprise the galaxy, she realized, not through brute force, but through resilience, honesty, and courage. One evening, as they walked through the glowing gardens, Lyra spoke softly. "The court is clever, but humans have a quality they underestimate: heart. Your heart drives your actions, Ethan. That is what sets you apart." Ethan paused, staring at her. "Heart. Sometimes it feels like a weakness," he admitted. "Humans often pay for being honest, being kind, being brave." Lyra shook her head. "Heart is never weakness. It is strength. It is what convinces others to trust, to follow, to see beyond fear and prejudice. Humans may be underestimated, but that is your advantage." Ethan felt a surge of determination. Humans had always faced impossible odds. From surviving on a fragile planet to exploring the stars, they adapted and endured. Here, in the court of a powerful alien empire, he would do the same. Suddenly, a disturbance rippled through the garden. Lyra's eyes narrowed. "Trouble," she said. "The faction against you is watching. They will try to test you tonight." Ethan nodded. Humans had a saying, "Fortune favors the bold." "Then let them test me," he said firmly. "I'll show them that humans are more than they believe." The faction approached in a formal challenge. They proposed a trial not of combat, but of intelligence and diplomacy. Ethan would need to solve a complex dispute involving multiple alien species, trade routes, and legal restrictions. Failure could humiliate him and damage his reputation. Ethan studied the problem carefully. Humans were creative problem solvers. Where aliens relied on tradition and rules, humans saw patterns, connections, and solutions others missed. Using clear logic, empathy, and negotiation, he devised a plan that balanced the needs of all parties. When he presented it to the court, there was silence. His solution was elegant, fair, and unexpected. Slowly, the elders nodded. Some frowned, but grudgingly admitted its brilliance. Lyra's eyes shone with pride. "You see," she said quietly, "humans can surprise the galaxy. Not with power, but with mind and heart." Ethan felt a warmth in his chest. Humans had always been underestimated. Yet here, in the court of the Zetherian Empire, they were proving their worth not through strength or technology, but through honesty, courage, and ingenuity. As the night deepened and the twin moons rose above the palace, Ethan and Lyra walked together once more. "You have done well," she said. "But the trials are not over. The court will continue to watch, to test, to challenge. Are you ready?" Ethan looked at her, determination shining in his eyes. "I am ready. Humans endure. We adapt. And we fight not with weapons, but with courage, honesty, and heart. I will not fail." Lyra smiled, a rare, genuine smile. Then let the galaxy see. Humans may be underestimated, but they are capable of greatness. And perhaps, together, we can show them just how extraordinary your people can be. And with that, they walked through the glowing gardens, united by trust, courage, and a shared understanding that humans, even in the heart of an alien empire, could make a difference, could win respect. It could change the hearts and minds of those who doubted them. The morning sun bathed the Zetherian palace in a golden glow, reflecting off its towers in crystalline domes. The court buzzed with anticipation. Today was unlike any other day. Ethan Cole would face his ultimate test, one that would decide not only his fate, but the perception of humanity in the eyes of the Zetherian Empire. Princess Lyra walked beside him, her lavender skin glowing in the sunlight. Her silver hair shimmered, and her eyes carried a mix of pride and worry. The court was tense. Every noble, every diplomat, every observer waited for the trial to begin. Whispers of the human's courage and the princess's choice circulated like wildfire. Ethan felt a surge of nervous energy. He had already faced smaller trials, disputes, negotiations, and demonstrations of ingenuity. But this was public. This was visible to the entire court. He drew a deep breath. Humans were known for honesty, courage, and adaptability. Today he would prove all three. Lyra stopped at the Grand Hall's entrance. "Remember," she said quietly, "strength alone will not win this trial. The court wants to see heart, wisdom, and honesty. Be yourself, Ethan Cole. That is your greatest power." Ethan nodded. "I understand. I won't let you or my people down." The hall was enormous, with high ceilings that reflected light like a giant prism. The council, elders, court officials, and representatives from neighboring species filled every seat. At the center stood a podium, surrounded by holographic displays showing trade routes, interstellar maps, and historical precedents. The lead elder spoke, his voice deep and commanding. "Ethan Cole, you have been observed. You have demonstrated resourcefulness, courage, and insight. Today, we test your worth. You must solve a complex interstellar dispute, balancing trade, law, and ethics. Success will earn the court's respect. Failure will confirm our doubts." Ethan studied the displays. A trade network involving multiple alien species had collapsed due to mismanagement, greed, and conflicting laws. The solution was far from simple. One wrong move could anger an entire empire or destabilize. Interstellar relations, humans had always faced impossible odds. From surviving on a fragile Earth to navigating hostile alien worlds, they had learned to adapt, innovate, and persevere. Ethan's mind raced as he analyzed the problem. Then he began to speak. "Respected council," he said, his voice steady, "the solution is not to punish or dominate any single party. We must create a system of shared benefit, transparency, and trust. Each species must have its needs acknowledged and protected, while contributing to the whole. By designing a cooperative framework, we ensure stability, fairness, and long-term prosperity." The elders murmured. This was bold. Aliens often relied on rigid laws and tradition. Humans relied on flexibility, empathy, and logic. Ethan continued. "We can establish a council representing each species, rotating authority and responsibilities. Trade routes must be monitored and shared openly. Conflicts should be resolved through dialogue, not force. Transparency builds trust. Trust builds cooperation, and cooperation ensures survival." Lyra watched him, her chest swelling with pride. This was exactly what she had seen in humans all along: the courage to act honestly, the creativity to find solutions others missed, and the heart to care for fairness over power. The council deliberated, exchanging heated whispers. Some were skeptical, while others were impressed. Ethan's proposal challenged centuries of tradition, but offered a path that was both just and practical. Finally, the lead elder spoke. "Your plan is unconventional, yet it demonstrates clarity, fairness, and wisdom. Humans may indeed possess qualities that we have long underestimated." Ethan exhaled quietly, relief washing over him. One major trial completed, and the court's respect was beginning to shift. But the day was not yet over. The final challenge remained, the matter of Lyra herself. In the eyes of tradition, she was expected to marry a powerful alien noble, to strengthen alliances. The court's final test was clear. Would Ethan prove himself worthy of standing beside her not through fear, wealth, or manipulation, but through integrity, courage, and heart? Lyra took Ethan's hand gently, guiding him toward the center of the hall. "This is your final challenge," she whispered. "Not just diplomacy, but trust. You must show the court why honesty, courage, and heart can bridge worlds." Ethan's heart pounded. Humans had long relied on principles rather than power. They had survived countless adversities because of resilience and ingenuity. Today, he would demonstrate that to the galaxy. He stepped forward, addressing the court directly. "Honored council, respected leaders of the galaxy, I am a human. My people are young, often underestimated, and considered fragile. Yet we endure. We survive because we act with honesty, courage, and heart. We face the unknown without fear. We innovate, we adapt, and we value connection over conquest." The court listened intently. Ethan's voice grew stronger with each word. "Your tradition values strength, wisdom, and experience. My people may lack centuries of history, but we have learned to overcome, to create solutions where none exist, to stand for what is right even when the odds are against us. That is why I stand here today, not to claim a throne, but to earn trust, to demonstrate that humanity is capable of greatness." A hush fell over the hall. Aliens who had dismissed humans as insignificant now regarded Ethan with a new respect. Lyra's eyes shone, reflecting pride and admiration. Then he took a step closer to Lyra. "And I stand beside her, not to possess, but to support, to honor her choice, to respect her courage, and to work together as equals. Humans may be underestimated, but we are capable of loyalty, ingenuity, and love. That is the essence of our strength." The council was silent, considering his words. Finally, the lead elder spoke. "Ethan Cole, your honesty, courage, and insight have proven exceptional. Humans may indeed surprise the galaxy. As for your bond with Princess Lyra, that is a matter of choice, and choice is a power that should never be denied." Lyra stepped forward, her voice clear and unwavering. "I choose him, not for his species, nor for politics, but for the human who has shown me honesty, courage, and heart. I will marry no one who cannot earn trust through virtue, and Ethan Cole has done so." Gasps filled the hall. In centuries of tradition, it was rare for a princess to defy expectations so openly. Yet the court saw truth in her eyes, and slowly, approval replaced shock. Aliens who had doubted humans began to nod, acknowledging the wisdom and honesty and courage. Ethan felt a surge of emotion. Humans had always believed in standing up for what was right, even when the galaxy doubted them. Today, that belief had not only earned respect, but also changed perceptions. One elder spoke finally, breaking the silence. "Let it be known, humanity has proven its worth. They are capable of wisdom, courage, and honor, and Princess Lyra's choice is respected." Cheers and applause echoed through the hall. Humans were no longer considered fragile, naive, or insignificant. They had earned a place in the hearts and minds of alien leaders, not through force, but through honesty, courage, and ingenuity. Ethan looked at Lyra, his heart full. "Thank you," he whispered, "for trusting me. For believing in humanity." Lyra smiled, taking his hand. "No, Ethan, thank you for showing the galaxy what humans are truly capable of. You have reminded us all that strength is not always measured by power, but by heart, courage, and honesty." The day ended with celebration. Diplomats and citizens from countless worlds gathered to honor both the princess and the human who had proven himself. Ethan felt the weight of history in that moment. Humanity had taken its first significant step into the galactic stage. Not through conquest, but through character, later. As they walked beneath the twin moons in the palace gardens, Lyra turned to Ethan. "Do you realize what you've done?" she asked softly. Ethan shook his head, smiling. "I've only done what humans do best. We try, we endure, we show courage. The rest. That's the galaxy's judgment. Lyra laughed softly, the sound like wind chimes in the night. You've done more than endure. You've inspired. Humans are no longer just observers of the galaxy, they are participants. And I am proud to stand beside you. Ethan squeezed her hand. Then let's continue, together. Humans have a lot to show, and I want to see it all with you. As the moons rose high, casting silver light across Zarian 5, Ethan and Lyra stood together, united in courage, honesty, and heart. In that moment, the galaxy witnessed not just a human diplomat and an alien princess, but a symbol of what humans could achieve: respect, trust, and the power to change the world through integrity and courage, and in the quiet of the night. Under stars that spanned galaxies, Ethan realized something profound. Humans had survived, thrived, and inspired countless generations. And now, in a world of stars and alien courts, they were proving that even the smallest species, with honesty and heart, could leave a mark on the universe that would never be forgotten.